Boom, what is going on, people? We are here. My brother Keithlin King, he's from Barbados. I don't even want to say too much. I'm just going to let you jump right into it. Keithlin, what's going on? Tell the people where you from, brother.
Man, I'm good. I'm Keithlin King. Like he just said, I'm from Barbados. Yeah, I've been boxing a little while. Been boxing like over 19 years now.
How did you first get into boxing?
And I go way back. You know, my big brother, he used to box, and
Keep you close. Yeah.
my big brother, he used to box, and but before I even see my big brother box, when I was small, I always wanted to be a fighter for some reason. I remember when I was small, my dad asked me what I wanted to be. I said, man, I wanted to fight Mike Tyson. He was like, but back in the days, you know, them guys, they wasn't about sports like that. He was like, man, shut up and go inside. I'm sending you to school to tell me you want to beat Mike Tyson. But I mean, for some reason, I got into boxing, and I've been all over the world for boxing. I've been in so much places. I don't even think I might go back to some of them. And I've been to 3 Olympic trials. Fought in the 2016 Olympic trials where I beat number 5 in the world and lost to number 7. Squeezed my chance of really getting into the Olympics. But then I went on to turn professional. I fought my first professional fight on Julian Jackson card, where I had a knockout. Right now I'm currently 4-1, 3 knockouts. Been a long journey, but still there.
Yeah, I like that. You pretty much covered everything I wanted to get into, but specifically, we can sort of cover that, how the timeline worked out. You grew up boxing in Barbados. What's the boxing scene like in Barbados, and how did you get into the Olympic team with them first and foremost?
I mean, boxing in Barbados is a bit downhill from when I was coming up as a kid. There's me and there's another guy out there called Kobe Abridi. He professional too. Basically, it's 2 of us. We came out the same gym, and right now he's doing fairly well. You know, he boxed out in DC. Me, I used to be in DC, but the journey, man, it's all, like I said, the journey. The journey in DC wasn't so good, so I tend to move on. I actually went to quit after my last fight. I went to quit, I went back home, and then the pandemic hit, you know what I mean, and I was home forever. But my fiance is from Jersey, so I happened to end back up here last year for Christmas, just come pay a visit. I didn't even expect to stay so long, but I went to dinner with a guy called Granville. He boxed on the Barbados team too. But he was telling me, man, I ain't hearing from you like before. What's up, man? I said, man, he asked me still boxing. I said, man, I'm thinking about giving up. He said, man, give up? Man, I look up to you. You're one of the guys that I was looking up to when I was in Barbados and still do. I said, man, the journey is hard. Boxing is a lot harder than it looks, you know what I mean? You look on TV, you see the guys living that big life. I respect every fighter that make it that far, even Floyd, because it ain't easy making it that far in boxing, you know what I mean? And it's a hard journey when you don't have that team. When you don't have that backing, it's hard. I think when you got a team, a solid team, that's how you do it. And like I said, when I give up, he told me, man, nah, you gotta try 1 or 2 gyms in New York. I said, man, there's a kid called Duke that I went to the Olympic trials where we fought a couple games. I realized in the gym that he'd been making a little progress. If I could get to that gym, I'd maybe stick around. The first gym he happened to bring me in is the same gym that Duke trains in. So.
And this is Duke Michael, who just fought for the WBO world title.
Yeah, and I mean, I train in Russia with Duke, and they see me train in Azerbaijan, and I mean, the guys, you can see when the guys look up to your hard work and stuff. I messaged him and I told him I was in Gym X. He said, man, you're in a good gym. Like I said, the journey was very hard. I mean, the story's so long, I'll probably keep you up here till the next day, which I don't.
Yeah, I can definitely tell. Yeah, we bouncing around. We spoke a little bit about a lot of these things, and you can definitely bounce around. When did you get here from Barbados? When did you get to the United States?
December 23rd to visit my fiance. Man, like...
What year was that, though?
When I came here?
When you first came to the U.S.?
My very first time I came to the U.S. was in 2015.
2015? What brought you out here then?
They had a guy called Nawan from Sri Lanka. We trained in Russia, Azerbaijan to get out the World Games. And no, like I told you, after the 2012 Olympics, I decided I was going to turn pro, but I never happened to turn pro.
In 2012?
Yeah, I've been to 3 Olympic trials. I've been to 2008 with Deontay Wilder, I've been to the one with Spence, been to 3 Olympic trials. I wouldn't say I should have been an Olympian for the last 2, for the 2 before, but 2016, I thought they robbed me of my chance, but man, life goes on, you know what I mean? And like I said, I've been around a long time, been in there with sparring some of the best fighters. I sparred like Lamont Peterson, Austin Trout, you know what I mean? And some of the stuff I got from Lamont Peterson was like, I mean, I always look up to him and his brother because they always tell me, man, you just gotta believe in yourself a little bit more, you know, if you believe in yourself. I know his brother, Anthony Peterson, he told me, man, I'm not gonna lie, you're the most athletical person I ever come across in my life, and I've been on camps with many fighters. He said, man, you just gotta bite down a little bit more. And my journey to the 2016 Olympic trials where I didn't qualify, I felt really bad. I felt like it was over. I remember Lamont Peterson telling me before, sometimes when you're fighting, if you just remember to go to the body as much as you put the effort in going to the head, you will be a dangerous fighter. And like I said, I've been to the 2 Olympic trials in 2016, but I didn't get in. The last one I should have get in. The first one I think I should have get in too. I fought Panama where I dropped the guy twice.
Well, let's backtrack. That was 2008, your first Olympic trials? And that's where in Panama where you dropped the guy twice?
No, that was 2016.
Okay.
Right now I'm talking about 2016 trials.
Okay.
Yeah, so I fought in Argentina because it was 2. Fought in Argentina. I was winning the fight, but I think I got too comfortable. Because I dropped the guy twice from Panama, and I thought, well, because they said they were scoring as a professional, like an amateur was scoring like professionals, no. I dropped him twice. In the first round, the second round, so in the third round I was just more hitting and moving because I thought, well, it ain't much you could do. You've been dropping all 2 rounds, but I was wrong. He came on aggressive, but I was just more like blocking and stuff. And I was like, man, I'm gonna win it. I already dropped you twice, but it didn't go that way. I lost.
More points and things.
Yeah, and they gave him the fight, but I thought because I dropped him twice, I would have got in. But I didn't make that bottom me. I went straight back to DC. Like I said, I was training in Washington with Barry Hunter. I went straight back to DC and the journey keep going. The last trials was in Azerbaijan. I said, man, I'm gonna get in this chance for sure. I remember just before I went, Lamont tell me, man, you just gotta believe in yourself, bro. I went out there, I pushed even harder, but I didn't get it. Beat number 5 in the world, and then I lost to number 7. And then I decided, man, I'm gonna turn professional. I turned pro. I fought my first fight on Julian Jackson card. I remember Julian walking up to me after the fight and he said, man, your right hand, it gave me shivers, man. It reminded me of when I used to fight. And I felt great about that Julian could tell me that because I always look up to Julian. You know, that's one of the guys I really respect in boxing. Like, I think, like,
one of the greatest knockout punchers of all time.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I don't see the shine on him that I think he really deserved. You know what I mean? And I respect guys like Julian because they paved the way for guys like all the ones that doing it, guys like me that still train, you know what I mean? I mean, even Austin Trout, like, I'm starting to see everything that these guys tell me come together. You know, there's like, man, you gotta believe in yourself a little bit more. You gotta use your jab more. Trout told me, one time I remember Austin telling me, man, you got a really good jab, but you're not using it. It's no good if you're not using it. Trout said, I've been in there with many fighters, and I'm telling you, King, your jab is very good for you as an upcoming. It's gonna get you far if you just practice using it more.
Can I ask you that then? Being a fighter, just for a regular person, right? A regular person looks at you as a fighter. You're big and you're in shape. You have Olympic experience. You have the most belief in yourself. But when it comes to fighting, there's this idea that you don't believe in yourself as much as you're capable of. But from the outside in, it looks like you really do believe in yourself more than the average human being does.
Yeah, well,
what does that mean? What do you mean by that?
I wouldn't say that I don't believe in myself, but my downfall was always like, man, having a solid team. That's always been my downfall. Having a team, like, I'm gonna be honest, I never really had a coach that really was there for me. We pinpoint work on stuff, practice stuff. I never really had that coach. I've been going off of determination forever.
What do you mean by that? Like you came up through the Olympic system in Barbados, you didn't have an Olympic coach to help you?
And that's a long story too. I was born in St. Vincent, but I really was raised in Barbados. So I used to train with the team. Like I said, back in 2008, my very first Olympic trials, I had to train with I had to represent St. Vincent because I couldn't represent Barbados no more because you had to represent your passport and not a country where you live in. So then I had to represent my country. And then that was a little separation between me and my Barbados team and St. Vincent team. It even caused me going to certain games where my country couldn't pay for some games. You know what I mean? And guys from Barbados would go to the game. But it was vice versa. Some games I went to and they stay home, and some I get to go to and they didn't go to, you know what I mean?
So it's a back and forth type of thing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of good and bad in some ways.
Yeah.
But so being a part of the St. Vincent Olympic team, then did that allow you went to other places? Did you not have a boxing coach with them?
No.
No?
No.
So you...
Few games I went to few games I went to, they had their coach. But I don't want to discredit no coach, but you know there's levels in this stuff. I'm gonna keep it 100. There's levels in your coaching level, your coaching experience. My coach in Barbados is a more experienced coach than the coach in St. Vincent. And because sometimes you work with so much different coaches, it causes problems. Because I remember in 2010 in the Commonwealth Games, I had the first knockout in the Commonwealth Games. The first actual boom, flat out knockout in the Commonwealth Games. I can remember it. And I was working with Puerto Rico team back then, right? And then I went over to the games and I was training with Chiqui. That's the president of the Puerto Rico Boxing Association right now. That was a national coach back then. I was training with him for about a month leading up to the games. But then when I went to the Commonwealth Games, and I went back to my Barbados coach. So it's like I made a progress, but then I stepped back a little bit because my coach, he don't know what I've been working on. You understand? So it was being an up and down drop. So the journey being up and down, man, up and down, up and down.
Okay, so I know you said you trained in Puerto Rico. You also trained in Argentina.
No, I fought in Argentina. I trained in Cuba. Also trained in England and Wales in 2011, I think. Yeah, leading up to the 2012 Olympic trials and stuff. Yeah, so I trained a few places.
So you've been around the globe.
Yeah, man, I've been a long time. It's just, man, like I said, I went to quit. I was off for a little bit. I'm just trying to make a comeback. Like, you know, the other day I sparred with Edgar Belanga, and then, you know, Dre was happy with what he saw. He was willing to help me to step up on the journey, to carry along with my journey. And that's what we're doing right now. So hopefully before the year done, I should be back in the ring, you know.
Yeah. Has boxing helped you? Has it changed your life in any way?
Long story. Man, I'm gonna say, yeah, boxing helped me a lot because, man, I've been, like, coming out as a kid, I was very, like, I'm not gonna say a bully, but I was a very aggressive human being. I like fighting. So, like I told you when I was very young, my dad asked me what I want to be. I was about 6, 7. I said, man, I want to be a fighter. I want to beat Mike Tyson. Ah, shut up, go inside. But with that saying, my dad never paid attention to me wanting to be a boxer, but I used to go to school. I used to beat the kids. I remember one time I was in primary school in Barbados, and I told the guy, man, let's box. He was boxing. I'll never forget. His name was Damian Redmond. He hit me, bang, and hit me in the eye. Burst my eye. I had to ice it before I go home because I couldn't go home and tell mommy I was there punching. I'm gonna get another one. Yeah, man, but I always wanted to fight. But like I said, man, I never really had the solid team behind me. Because with this boxing, we all see how it goes. If you ain't got that solid team, you're wasting your time. Sometimes, to me, you could be the most skillful fighter, and you ain't got our right team, man. You might never get our break. Because story goes back. The reason I say this too, like I said, I train in Cuba, right? And I always relate to when I talk about other fighters. I don't just talk about myself. That's how I want to be through my career. I don't just want everything to be on me. It's all a journey. I remember when I was training in Cuba, right? If I say Gamboa, you know him, right?
Of course.
Well, there's a guy called the Chef. I can't remember his full name. I trained with him in Cuba. He was the guy to represent Cuba that year for the Olympics. But he broke his hand and he never got his break. Up to this day, the world don't know him, but they know Gamboa. So when Gamboa got his break, he came over here in the US. He had the right team behind him, and there we go. Everybody knew him. Whereby, you know, if the chef had get that break to come to go to the Olympics and perform, and then people see him, then today we would be talking about the chef, and nobody would have known Gamboa. So I mean, and he's more skillful than Gamboa, but the world never seen his talent. So you can got all the talent in the world. You can be Mr. Strong, Mr. Sharp and fit, but man, if you don't have the right team and the right people behind you, it's a hard journey,
and
hard
it just
sport.
seems like circumstances too.
Yep.
Circumstances.
Where you from? Yep. You know, money. People say it's a poor man's sport, but man, you ain't got that money. It's hard. Look, I'm living in Washington, New Jersey.
Yeah,
and I'm coming here like every day. 2 hours on a train. I leave home. I gotta get up for 7 o'clock. Head to the train station. Sit down on the train. By the time I get here, my breakfast already burned off. I gotta go and spa. You know what I mean? But like I said, man, it's all a journey, and I hope one day it's gonna pay off, because I promised myself I'm back. I'm gonna go home. I'm about to go home in Barbados for a few weeks. I'm gonna be out there training, and hopefully before the year done, they see me on the show.
God willing, I hope that definitely all works itself out and pays itself off. But one more question. Let's say you're sitting here right now going through all the journeys that you've been through, from an Olympian to being a professional, and you can talk to yourself, or maybe a young man who's right now somewhere in Barbados going through everything that he wants to take the journey. Would you do it again? And if you could do it again, what would you do?
Good question. Sometimes I ask myself the same thing, because man, the journey is so hard. I remember sometimes like kids, I got a lot of little kids back in Barbados, like even guys in my gym, they say, man, I want to be like you. People always say, man, I want to be like you. But sometimes I tell people, like, man, being like me, you know, seeing me being cool and happy, the journey ain't easy. I don't know if you could really be like me. I remember a guy told me, man, a little kid in the gym, he said, man, I want to be like you. I said, I'm not sure if you could really be like me, but the journey of me, it's not easy. If what I would say to the kids back home that want to be boxers, man, I'm going to tell them, man, keep pushing, never give up. Once you have life, anything is possible, and just keep working hard. That's all I could do. And believe in themselves. Man, I don't know if I'll do it again if I had to. Because of where I'm coming from, the journey was so hard. I mean, one thing I always tell people about me, you can show me the road to success. You ain't gotta walk me to it. You don't gotta walk me through it. I just want somebody to tell me, that's success right there. The road goes on and on, but that's success at the end. That's all I want, you know what I mean? So that's the message I'll give to anybody, like, you know, the journey to being successful is not easy, but you just gotta keep pressing. Because nothing is promised. Even the life we live is not promised, you know what I mean? So you just gotta have faith, hope, believe, and keep working. And that's what I'm doing right now. You know, that's all I could do.
Yes, sir. With that said, where can the people follow you? Where can they see who you are, what you're doing, where you're going, and your upcoming fights and bouts, and keep up to date with you?
Well, people can follow me on Instagram at King the Real Deal. That's my Instagram. I don't really do much social media on Facebook. You can look probably Keithland King. But I don't do all the TikTok and the Twitter. Nah, I'm not really that social media type person. Yeah, so basically that's where you can follow me.
Okay. And anyone in Barbados you'd like to give a shout out to? Anyone in Barbados you want to send your love to, or even St. Vincent?
Man, I just want to say, man, I want to shout out everybody that helped me through the journey, everybody being there for me, whether good or bad, man. Because me, I don't carry hate. I love everybody, you know what I mean? You do me something bad, man, I'll be the person to help you tomorrow. I'll be the person to give you a smack, but tomorrow see I'll help you. That's just me. You know what I mean? I'll smack you for being wrong, but tomorrow I see you in the gutter, I'm gonna pull you, I'm not gonna step on you. That's me, right? So man, thanks to everybody that helped me through my journey. My coach, the Barbados coach, you know, Lamont Peterson, Barry Horner, everybody. No matter how good or bad it was, the journey was with me, I love them all, man.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Thank you, brother. I really appreciate it. Appreciate you giving me the time. Appreciate you letting me sit in. And everyone back home, Barbados, St. Vincent, and the Caribbean, check him out. Young fighters, anyone else who wants to participate in the fight game, go support our brother King on Instagram and stay up to date with what he's doing. God bless him.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Sue. Also, I gotta say thank you, man, because, man, just a few days ago, I was telling my mother, man, my fiance, man, I wish somebody could just follow me on the journey, you know what I mean, while I'm gonna be here, because I gotta get to the top. I'm gonna work my ass off to get to the top, and I know it's not gonna be easy, especially, I find it's very hard when a fighter take a break. Sometimes you could come back and you never feel the same again, because you've been doing it all your life, and when you come back, you feel handicapped. And the reason why I say I'm hanging there, because I remember when Brandon Rios lost and he came back and he lost and he cried, he wanted to give up. But the next fight, Brandon Rios did come back better, you know what I mean? He said, man, he felt like quit, but for some reason, I saw him fight after, he said he felt like quit and he came back better. So right now, man, I don't know Brandon Rios, but I'm gonna use that as motivation too. So yeah, that's it, man.
Sounds good, brother. Thank you so much. We'll talk to everybody soon. Have a good day.
All right.